Hello, greetings.
Hello, everybody.
Michael here.
Rupert here.
We thought we'd just pop up and say hello. I posted a little card yesterday wishing you all a happy new year. I hope that amused. I thought it would be nice if we popped up in
Yeah,
person and said
I should say it to you. Yes,
hello.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, welcome
Had a good
to.
one. No sore heads.
Well, hopefully not today on the second. That would be just wrong.
Well, it would be good effort. Let's be honest.
We'd give you top marks for that. Yeah. Welcome
Yes.
to 2020.
Mm.
Um, I mean, we were thinking not only wishing you well, but also thank you. We'd like to say thank you
Yes, we would.
because we're acutely aware that we wouldn't be doing this without you and your continued support and contribution makes all this possible.
Said Michael, gesticulating the mess behind him. Dear,
Yes, the,
you
the
want to
mess
see my
behind me is
desk?
more of a sign of neglect because I am concentrated on
Indeed.
on this. So yes,
Indeed. Indeed. I'm not going to show you the mess
the
on my desk.
man, the man do not lie. And I mean, now you mention it, the basic truth is that the more there are of you, and we really hope to bump our Patreon fans numbers up in the next year. The more there are of you, the more it buys us time. Isn't that not the fact, Rupert? And the more
That
time
is
we have, the more we
absolutely
can do.
true. Gives
Yeah.
us so much more time to devote to everything, and indeed accumulate more mess behind us. No, it does. It makes a huge difference to us. You'll get bored with us saying it to you, but we're just very, very grateful.
Yeah.
Um, so
And
you thought
we do the maximum possible with the amount of time that we do have. But also, if there's anything that you feel is missing, or anything you feel we're not quite serving you, or if you've got any bright ideas about stuff we could do that we haven't thought of, please, please, please do let us know by whatever means. Yeah.
Mm,
Do you know what? There's a whole sort of community section in Patreon that we've not really used. Maybe I should try that out, see if there's a sort of we can get some kind of interaction going in there. Yeah,
it's interesting.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, while I think of it, Patrick,
yes.
Tom, if you're watching, apologies. I haven't replied to your emails. See what I mean? Christmas all gets in the way. Anyway, I haven't forgotten. Sorry, Rupert, you were going to say.
Was I?
Yeah.
I was probably just going to say we were going to give you a bit of a heads up on what we are going to be trying to get to you. No, what we will be getting to you in 2020.
Good
Um,
catch there, Soskin.
yeah, yeah. Um, because I mean, obviously, apart from trying to escalate the amount of stuff that we get to you, one of the exciting things that's coming up really shortly is, and we might have mentioned this before, but we've managed to get hold of Alison Sheridan. Phenomenal CV of archaeology, who is going to come and do a lecture with us. Good grief!
An interview with us, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
what she hasn't done. She was a research curator at National Museum of Scotland for well, she's been working with Museum Scotland since, was it 1987, Michael? I think it was 1987. A long time, but her background, her CV is just mind-boggling.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, the hardest thing about that, because she is really lovely. She is such fun to talk to,
Yeah.
and the hardest thing for us is going to be deciding what to talk about, because otherwise it could be an interview that was 17 weeks long. There's just no limit
It's covered
to,
so
this
many
CV.
areas.
Extraordinary.
I bet you
So,
I
so
bet
that'll
you
be
the
coming
main
soon.
I bet you the main topic of conversation will be how people crossed into Britain from the continent at the beginning in the early Neolithic, ending the Mesolithic and into the Neolithic.
Yeah, it could well be.
Yeah.
And ceramics as well. I think we really need to, because that's a massive field of expertise for her. And
Yeah. Well, it's the ceramics part, the in part, that gives her the clue about migrations from Brittany into parts of Britain. Yeah. Have you frozen? No, say it is not so.
true.
No, you're back again. No, you're not back again.
Hold on a second.
Oh, it's all right. Oh, let's just pause. Well,
Actually, hold on. I'll tell you what. No, pause that. Pause that. Keith.
Keith?
Hello, mate. I am just in the middle of recording something, so I'll call you back in about an hour. All right. All right. See you. Bye. Bye. Cheers. Bye.
I'm afraid there isn't a pause button. So we'll just yes.
Bust that one.
That happened. Anyway, interview with Alison Sheridan. That's coming up
Yes.
very, very, very soon. Do you know what? My intention is this weekend to go off into the wilds of the Yorkshire Moors, Ilkley Moor, actually, and do some nice photography of rock art and the 12 Apostles. Do you know what? I didn't know there was so much rock art on Ilkley Moor. It is covered in it. You know, little bits and bobs, nothing quite like up Kilmartin Glen, but Achnabrek and places like that. But there is some stars. There's just masses. It seems every rock has got rock art on it.
It's astonishing, isn't it? Really. I mean, how we never get a handle on, and I don't mean you and me. I mean collectively, we never really get a handle on how rock art. What's the word I'm looking for? What was its place in society? You know, why? What is it? You know, what's it all about, and all of those kinds of things. That we have these anomalous artifacts, and it's like, well, what?
Yeah.
Sorts of ideas.
And what period of time? We ought to do a special on them, actually, Rupert.
We probably should, actually.
I'm sure. But, well, there are rock art specialists, so let's
Yes.
hunt them out and get them on.
Yes.
That's a plan. I just intend to make a film about going to Yorkshire and filming, make some pretty pictures of rock art. That's my plan.
What could be more fun than that? If I was in the UK, I'd come with you.
Talking of you being in the UK, though,
Yeah.
we do have a couple of commitments. Well, we have one particular commitment, don't we? We're going to be talking at Megalithomania 2020.
We are. That's in May.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah. And we'll be reporting on that. We'll be sharing the stage with Mike Parker Pearson, so there's something.
Yes.
We've got a prehistoric society conference called Landscapes of the Dead, which we're thinking of both being at. That's
Yes.
next month. So if we make that, we'll certainly be reporting back to you on that.
Another jaded Sunday morning report back, that'll be.
Yes, and I wonder what little surprises will manifest. You know, I mean, like horses, for example.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well, the plan is, is to carrying on.
Indeed. I was just
at
trying to
least
think of any
getting out a month for.
specifics,
Sorry, Rupert.
no, I was just trying to think of any specifics that we might have, but there are things that we've don't want to say them out loud because there are things that we haven't pinned down yet, and so we don't want to kind of give you promises that then move. But we've got a live coming up next week, haven't we?
Yes, on the 9th.
Live on the 9th.
So that's a Patreon exclusive. We'll be doing this, but live to you, bringing you Pushing Back the Boundaries, news, Stonehead of the Month, that kind of thing. So that'll be fun. 8 o'clock on the 9th. As far as further on in the year is concerned, I intend to be on Tim Darville's dig at Sisters Longbarrow again, so hopefully I'll be able to report back from that. We're doing a tour in September again.
We are. Yes, it's a slight change to the 2019 one. With the we're going on. We're going over to Kilmartin Glen this time. That's going to be lovely.
Absolutely, and we're visiting a Crannog.
We are.
More, but as apart from that, we will be giving you a really great interview every month. Really hope you enjoyed the interview with Merrin Dyneley about beer. That was illuminating for us. We hope it was illuminating for you as well. We've got a few names in the frames, but we can't tell you, when they'll be coming up for future interviews. The regular live, as per on the 9th, which will happen on usually the first Thursday on every month, we reckon. Films. We want to make more films. And hopefully I'll get one back to you from next weekend. But I've got plans. I've got plans to go to Bryn Cardiffana up in Snowdonia. Just give you pretty pictures over Snowdonia and of the monument itself, which looks extraordinary. But also, I want to go to the Preselis. I want to get over there. I want to see where those bluestones come from. And
when are you planning on that one?
I haven't put that in.
I should make a trip over so that we can have boys.
That would be a very good boy trip, up the Preselis, because there's lots to gather in around there. There's not only the fact of the bluestones coming from the Preselis, but there's also Cairn Morn, isn't it? The new circle, large circle up there, which it is thought that some of the bluestones were incorporated into before they were uprooted and brought to Stonehenge.
It's extraordinary, really. I mean, it's funny how we couldn't, for various reasons, we couldn't incorporate the Preselis very much into Standing with Stones when we made that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that so much has happened since we were there anyway. So it's astonishing, actually. I mean, Mike Parker Pearson has done a huge amount of work there, and what's come out is it just makes you ask so many questions about, what were these guys doing when they moved a circle from Preseli to Wiltshire? Why? What was that about? So yeah, that would be a good one.
Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've set a new goal for us, a new Patreon goal for us. It sort of looked a bit vague before, but I've nailed it at $1,000 a month income, at which point Rupert and I are going to make a special series, a sort of a series of podcasts nailing the timeline of the Neolithic package from the Neolithic farming package from the Middle East circa 11,000 years ago up to Stonehenge, sort of just get that story nailed in the form of a podcast. And all that'll take is, when we hit that $1,000 a month level, we reckon that'll give us the time to do that, to
coax your friends in.
Yeah. Share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because
Oh, and yeah,
it's amazing how intricate that timeline is, and how and we said this before when we did the podcast, the one-off podcast about the timeline, but how we compartmentalize things from prehistory.
yeah,
Actually, when you weave it all together and see how that line flows, it's quite eye-opening.
yeah,
Certainly was for us, anyway.
yeah. And the other thing is the other longer term goal. Though we're up for it happening in the next year. When we reach $5,000 a month, we're going to commit to making a film. It'll
Yes.
most likely to be about henges. I mean, it'll be a big film too. A big film,
Yes.
serious.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So big investments needed and stuff because it involved travel and stuff like that. Proper
Yes.
serious planning and
Yes.
development. But a film
Yes.
all about henges. Henges are blowing our minds at the moment, and all kinds of earthworks and stuff.
Enclosures. Let's say enclosures.
Enclosures, and do you know what, folks? I did a little exercise during the last few days, looking at local stuff, thinking what's in my backyard. And it's just amazing. I don't know if it's the same for everybody. I mean, the good first place to go is megalithic.co.uk, the megalithic portal, Andy Burnham's site, to
All
find
hail
out
Ed Burnham.
what's near you. It's not the visible stuff that's interesting, we're lucky we've got visible stuff remaining. It's the invisible stuff that's still there, ploughed over, but nevertheless, there's loads of stuff in the landscape. I'd be fascinated to know if anybody else has got stuff in there, not literally in their backyard, but within a mile or 2 miles or so. I've got 2 cursuses at least, and I think I've discovered a third that nobody else knows about. Just up the road, I've got a hengiform monument. I've got, about 4 miles away, there's another 2 cursuses. I've found another 2 cursuses. I mean, it is insane what's lurking about in the landscape, and especially if you look at the LiDAR. If you've got LiDAR maps available in your area, have some fun, knock yourselves out.
The LiDAR is amazing, actually. I looked at a place, and it was someone had pointed it out that they'd tripped across it when they were looking at LiDAR. It's in Andover, just outside Andover. That if you look at Google Earth or satellite views of the landscape of all the farmland, this is just a forest. But because LiDAR can actually just see through all of that, there's a henge. There's no way in a million years you could go and excavate it, because you'd have to strip the whole forest down to do it. But satellite view, treetops. LiDAR view, it's a henge.
Yeah.
God, how much stuff is going to be coming out? Because they found, was it 1,000 sites that they found on Arran?
Oh yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do with that? It is. It's wonderful what's coming out.
My intention is to make a little film about that, sort of going about locally, pointing the camera at empty fields, but nevertheless making the point.
Yes, you lucky people.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a timber circle not far off as well. Not there anymore, but Anyway,
yeah.
we could get into detail. And we're probably wasting precious material that we could have incorporated into the 9th, and maybe we'll talk about it again.
We'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it then.
Everybody
as
will
well.
see that.
Yeah.
So I think we've almost whittled on for quite long enough. Bearing in mind that the purpose of this was to make a little thing wishing you all a happy new year and wishing you an awesome 2020.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's it, folks. I think for the time being, we've been doing this for nearly 20 minutes. Hats off to you if you last this long. Really, it's.
Excuse me.
Oh, I have got a pause button. Never mind. I've just found a pause button.
Right.
So I'm sorry you'll have to suffer Soskin on his phone, but hey ho. Anyway, if we don't see you before then, we'll see you on the 9th. Oh, and don't forget to go and register. Go and register on the link that I've put up, so we know who's going to be there on the call, on the Crowdcast call. There's a link down below somewhere. That's it. As Excellent. I say, do give us feedback. Do give us, stuff you think we should be doing, or ways of doing it, or any ideas you have about how we can up our levels, up our numbers here as well, via social media or whatever. Any of you experts in social media and that kind of thing, let us know. All right. That's it, folks.
Thanks again.
Ta-ra. Till the next time. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.